Hey guys, Merry Christmas again. We're going to look today at another song that's not for the beginner guitarist. This will be another chord solo or chord melody. This one is White Christmas. Even a relative beginner could actually pour their efforts into a song like this and devote enough time to being able to do well at it. I've seen that before where people who don't have a tremendous amount of background knowledge have put together some nice jazz solos where that's the one thing that they focused on. This is not probably, though, the best use of your time. What you really should do is what we're doing with the beginner course. Go back and start at the beginning. Learn your notes, your string names, your scales, your basic chords. Build up a nice repertoire and come up to things like this. You can scaffold your learning. You can jump into something like this and learn it kind of out of order if that's your goal and you're really motivated to do so. But just in general, it's a better use of your time and your mental resources to build up to something like this over time. What I'm going to do here is what we talked about before with Silver Bells. We'll look first at just doing the melody, becoming familiar with that, so that when you overlay the chords, you can hear the melody in the chords. One of the most irritating things about fingerstyle and chord melodies is getting lost in the chord sounds, having your melody buried by the chords and not knowing where you are in the song. So getting familiar first with the melody is very useful. You'll notice at first we've got a lot of chromaticism. This is a great jazz lesson for you. The chromatic notes can often be covered with diminished chords, and that's how they'll be handling these. We're going to start on the second string with the 5th fret, and that should be a full bar of music. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've climbed up 1 fret and landed on the 6th fret to hold for a bar. When I actually play the chord solo, these aren't going to be exactly bars. I'm going to play it more rubato and free form than that. But for now, we can look at it again. We're on an E note. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, E, E flat, E, F. 2, 3, 4. Continue the climb. F sharp for 1 beat. And G for 2. So we got wound up here on the E, leaned forward and back and got a running start to the F sharp, to the G, and that's I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Those will be harmonized, of course, later on with chords. I have written in some of the background items that occur as timekeepers. So there you'll see 3, 2, and 1 on the low string. G, G flat, and F. That's going to be put in when we're doing the full version, but I have them in here now so you'll see some time kept differentiated from our melody. The way that would look then, if you want to throw that in, is I'm dreaming of a white 2, 3, 4 Christmas. And then we start on this 5th fret. So it's 5, 7, 8, 10, 8, 7, 5, 3. Just like the ones I used to know. So this was all scalar in the key of C. A, B, C, D, C, B, A, G. And just like I did with those bass notes, I've thrown in a couple of chords that fill the time. Just like the ones I used to know. Diminished chord, D minor, bass note. Where the treetops glisten. So here we're still in scale. C, D, E, the G at the 8th fret, and children listen. So that's really pretty, from the G down the 5th to the C. And children listen, back up, the F to here, F to E, to here, do it again, sleigh bells in the snow. A lot of this you'll probably recognize sitting in this C Ionian. Which speaking of modes, could come from an A Aeolian shape, as we've talked about before. So you see a lot of that, the E, A, G, C, F, E, D, C, D. Here again at the end of the line, I've put some chords for filling in the time. While you're working just the melody, you don't have to do those, of course, but if you want to fill in the time and put something between your melody notes, you can. This would be a D minor 7 with a 9, the E. This drop 2 shape, 10, 8, and 9 and 9, is an E minor or a G13. Move it down 2 frets, it's an A minor 7 or a F13. Here's an E minor chord based on this E note. I make the next a D7, and this is a G with a sharp 5 perhaps, a diminished chord on D, which gives us our tension back to the start. So we get those chords. They start on beat 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're back up here for I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas with another verse. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. And this is with every Christmas card I write. With every Christmas card I write. Time filler. Going to use these two notes, 1 and 3, the C and D, to go into ending 2. E notes. May your days be merry and bright, all the way up to this C. So G, the 5, to the C. Another background bass line. And may all your, so this is C, D, and may E, this A, and we'll use open B. So this is B white, more fill, and may all your Christmases be white. So C to D, and may all your Christmases be white. This is a nice way to get up to the C. A to F, that's an F chord. B to G, that's a G chord. C. In the actual version, they'll be covering these with different chords than F's and G's. They'll use diminished as that one is. So that gets us to the end of the melody. May all your Christmases be white. And here I've put in the chords that cover this extended ending. And those will be a handful. We can work them out later on. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to pause here. I'm going to put in some of the chords and show you a little bit of it, but save the completion and the playthrough for the next video. So you might want to take a break there and call that a lesson and work on that a little bit, or you can move on to these chords. If you have a lot of background with jazz chords and drop 2s and things like that, then you can probably piece this together fairly quickly. If you don't know any of them, then you probably need to spend some more time on chords before you really want to tackle this. If you have a bit of a familiarity with them, you can use this to learn them as well. There are probably too many here to say this song is the vehicle for learning your chords, but we can get a handle on some, and I will describe them here. So our first melody note in this song, which is in C major, was this E note, and it's harmonized by C major 7 chord. So that's 3, 5, 4, and 5. This is a drop 2 chord with the 3 on top. That means there's a power chord on the bottom, C and G, the major 7 in the middle, and the 3 on top. In drop 2s, the 1 and 5 will travel together. They may be reversed, the 5 may be on the higher of the 2 strings and the root on the lower, or vice versa. Same thing, 3s and 7s travel together. So E and B, the 3 and the 7 are on the top of this chord. they can be reversed. If we have the 7 on top, the 3 is the other voice. So here's your C major. We slide into a D diminished or fully diminished 7. This looks like the exact same chord moved up 1 fret, and then the root raised another fret. In a diminished chord, all the notes are flat relative to the root. So you could lower the 3, lower the flat 7, and lower the 5. Or what you can do is raise the root into those, making them relatively lower. So here's C major 7. If I move that chord up, lower the 7 into my bar, and put the root up 1 fret, then I've got a dominant 7 chord with a raised root. So the 3, the flat 7, and the 5 have been lowered relative to that root. So it's a flat 3, double flat 7, and a flat 5, which is to say a diminished 7 chord. 5, 6, 4, and 6. Back to C. Notice the guides I have here. These 2 fingers will slide up a fret into the new chord. The middle finger will vacate the 4th string, or 3rd string, sorry, to take the 5th. You can move this finger to the very string it's holding, or just leave it in its bar. I like the bar in these. That way I don't worry about which string that finger has. It's got the right one because it's got a bar. So this is 4 beats on C major 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. D fully diminished 7. 1 beat. Back to C major 7. 2nd beat. Down a fret to C diminished 7. And back up to C major 7. C, D, C, C diminished, C major. To a chord you probably know, D minor 7. 5, 7, bar the other 5, and add a 6. And that's another full bar. I'm dreaming of a white, hold that for a bar, Christmas. So on this F sharp chord, you got the F sharp root on top, the 7 on the bottom, the 3, the A sharp with the 7, and this time we have instead of the 5, we have a 6 or a 13. This chord is just transitional to the 5 chord, the G with the 13. So now we have hold up for a bar, diminished, dreaming of a white Christmas. And that 3, 2, 1, we've been on a G chord, we run down to an F. I'm putting this on the beats and 4 and. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. And then we jump up to the D minor here. There's a 5, the A, and the D, the root. So again, on the top of the chord this time, the 1 and 5. That means the 3 and 7 are on the bottom, the F and the C, flat 3, flat 7. Just like the ones I used to know. D moves up 2 frets to E minor, up to another D minor 7, so we did D minor 7, E minor 7. We're going to go D minor 7, E minor 7 again, in a different voice. This time the 5's on the bottom, so the root is right beside it. The 7's on top, the C, so the F's right beside it, the 3. So, in your repertoire of chords, these are all chords you need to know. The major 7 shape, the diminished shape, the minor 7 shape. Less popular is this 13. I don't know if I have that one as a standalone chord, just ready to be grabbed by name. This D minor, root on the 2nd string. Also minor 7 on E, this D minor 7 with the root on the 3rd string, and E. Then we just come back down. Just like the ones I used to. You could use the same chord, but this version has it reharmonized. We've got the 5 on top, and the 3 on the bottom, the sorry, I'm talking about frets. We've got the 5th fret on top and the 3 on the bottom, just like in the other chord. But here they've stuck 4s in the middle. That makes a G augmented chord. G, B, D sharp, G. They lowered this note to the flat 7, so it's a G7 augmented. Put a 9 on top, so it's a G9 augmented. So that phrase goes, just like the ones I used to. I'm going to bar the 4s, so I got it 5, 4, 4, and 3, 2, no. Yet another E minor 7. The same notes that we've had in all the E minor 7s, E, G, B, and D. Now we've got the E on the bottom. So if the root's on the bottom, the 5 is next. See a power chord there? And the flat 7 and flat 3 are next. Another fingering you want to know. So these are all chords that would be in your repertoire. If you saw the chord name E minor 7, each one of these, this one with the 3 on top, this with the 5 on top, and this with the 7 on top, would all be natural to you. There's also the root on top. So you've got 4 different versions of E minor 7 on this set of 4 strings. You've got the same 4 on the next set of 4 strings. Then time filler. I had these in already. The diminished chord, or that's an A with a flat 9, A7 flat 9. The D minor with the 11. And I think we'll leave her there. I don't know how much time has been taken up, but we've done a lot already, so we'll pick up the rest another day. Here's what we have so far. I'm playing with my pick right now. You should still be able to take out and hear that high note with your pick. Usually you know I play with fingers. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll be into the next phrase and we'll pick that up another time. Have a good one, guys. I hope that one's going to be some fun for you. Bye for now.